Okay, awesome. Hi everyone, I hope you can hear me. If I can get, I can hear you in the chat feed, that would be great. Or if you've got your video on, just as, yep, I've got a thumbs up from a few people, so thank you very much, that's awesome. Yes, thank you, I've got a message from Seema, so thank you so much. All right, it's wonderful to connect with you all today. Just going to introduce myself. My name's Belinda. I may have met a few of you through our professional learning last week, our Prowise Teaching Over Distance webinars. Well, today we're going to just look at a component of Prowise Presenter. We're going to look at Proquiz. Now, I understand some of you might be at school, some of you might be at home, or you might just have a little bit of release from face-to-face teaching at the moment. So it's just a quick session. It's half an hour, and hopefully by the end of it, you're going to feel a lot more confident using Proquiz for assessment. Now, I don't know what assessment month is going to look like this month. Oh, sorry, this term. So we'll see what assessment brings. But the awesome thing is that you're able to use Prowise Presenter here, the part of it being Proquiz, to save data for assessment. Now I'll take you through that today, and I'll also get you to participate in a quiz at the end, and then we can have a look at how we can push that data out to Excel, etc. Now you're more than welcome to work with your application while I'm creating and showing you resources. Otherwise, please just enjoy the session and learn all you can from the session, so that when session's over, you'll be able to create your own pro quizzes. And we're getting lots of people connecting, which is really great. So today we're going to look at Proquiz for assessment. Now, just a reminder, the session is being recorded as well for any of our colleagues that are on class or are unable to join at the moment, and it will be put up on our ELB Education Facebook. Now, just moving on. Okay, so we're going to have a talk about using Proquiz for assessment. Now, the wonderful thing about Proquiz is that you can create a quiz in a heartbeat, and you're going to see me do that today. Now, sorry, just before I start, any questions that you might have, please put them in the chat feed. At the moment, I'm using the Zoom platform to create my virtual classroom with you, so please be mindful, just write any questions. If we have time in the end, we'll go through them. If not, I will be able to email you, and I will reply with any of your questions or concerns. Okay, so here we go. So Proquiz for assessment. You can create quizzes in an instant. It's as quick as opening up a page and having all of your thoughts in mind, preparing having all that information prior, simply adding it adding into the quiz and then pushing it out. I'll model that for you today. The great thing is as well is the application can be used P to 12. You can vary the quiz for different levels. You can have answers with shapes. You could have answers where people are going to give you a possible A, B, or C, or short answer questions. You'll have a bit of a look at that today and understand that there's lots of different options depending on the ability of your children. You can access it from anywhere. Now, Proquiz works through ProConnect. Now, if you've joined today's session, I'm under the assumption that you would have an understanding of Prowise Presenter. Prowise Presenter is the wonderful application we're using, and under that umbrella is a component of it called Proquiz, and I'm using Proquiz today. Now, yes, it's accessible from absolutely anywhere. You can push the quiz out to your students. You can have it timed. You can push it out individually or to a group, or you can push it out again to other groups. So there's lots of possibilities there for you. Okay, now when you open up Proquiz, I'm going to bring your attention, if you just to have a look where I'm scrolling, I'm actually opening Presenter 9 at the moment. When I go into the Presenter application, application, oops, my apologies. When I go into the Presenter application, I have an option to open up Presenter 9 or Presenter 10. And what I've done today is I've clicked on Presenter 9, and I've opened up my presentation here, and I'm teaching you all about Proquiz through Presenter 9 today. Now, just on the bottom where I'm scrolling at the moment, you'll see that this icon here is my quiz icon. You'll see it's a round circle with a little line through it. This is my quiz icon. When I click on that quiz icon, I will get a box that appears like this. It'll give me an option to make a quiz, to play a quiz, or to have a look at results of an existing quiz. So that's why you'll get this window of 3. Again, creating lots of different options with your quiz, multiple choice or short answer. Play a quiz that you've already created by pushing it out through ProConnect, which I will model for you today. Or simply go and have a look at the results of a quiz and push all of that information out to Proquiz if you choose. So that's why you'll have those 3 options come up when you open up Proquiz. Now I'm going to model that for you today. So here I am, I'm in Presenter 9, and I've got lots of my tools here. I've got my handwriting tools, my text tools, my writing tools. I've got lots of different tools here. I can add my media here. There's lots of different options. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to specifically look at Proquiz. So when I click on Proquiz, you'll see I get an option to make a quiz, to play a quiz, or to have a look at the results of a quiz. But what I might do today is just to model for you, is I might click on Maker. So if I click on Maker, I get this option. Now I can edit an existing quiz that I've already started working on, or a quiz I may want to just simply edit, or I can make a new quiz. But today I'm just going to make a new quiz just to model it for you. So I'll click on Make a New Quiz. Now I'll give it a title. I'll just call this one Test. You do need to give it a description, and I'll also give that a sample test. Now I've got an option here to add an image, so I might just simply go over to my gallery. Now this gallery will take me into my own personal images that I might have used before. I can go straight to the internet and search for any particular images, and I've also got some other resources that I can access to. And let's just, for argument's sake, we'll just put in this lovely little child learning, and we'll just use this image here. So I've got my title page. Now I'm going to click on Start to start working on it. Now if you have a look at the top over here, I've got like a settings wheel. This tells me that I'm actually in working mode. If it was in the play button, I'd know that I was in the play mode. If I was in the other button where I'm scrolling, that will give me results. But I know that I'm actually actively making at the moment. So I'll click on Start. Now, I can organize my, I'm just going to have one example here to start with. I could have a multiple choice question. And I can simply put in that question here. I will put in a question for us. Now I've got a simple question there. How are you finding lockdown? I could choose to have it an open-ended question, and you'll see that the bottom over here will change. So then my student can simply put in their answer here. I could put some keywords in here so that my students get a prompt. And I could leave it like so. I might just keep that one, for example, as an open-ended question. But just have a look here. I've got an option to add an image. So I might just add a visual cue for the kids there. Again, I can click on that and just out of argument's sake, we'll just add this one here. So if you have a look on the right-hand side over here, the window is blue. It tells me that my quiz, that I'm not missing anything, and that the actual application is happy with where I've put particular information. If, for example, I have something missing, like I might not have a question, you'll see that it's red, and it will not allow me to keep on moving forward in the application. So I need to make sure that I have completed each slide before I move on to the next, So how are we finding lockdown? Sorry, typo. Okay, so now I can see that that's ready. I can simply go and add another page. Now you'll see here I've got an option to add a page. I can duplicate this page, I can add a page, or I can bin this one. What I might do is I might just simply add another page. Now again, it gives me this other option. Do you want a multiple choice, an open-ended? May I choose a title page? And then you've got your other options here as well to add your different images or some illustrations and symbols. You have a look, last time I clicked here to go to my gallery. This time I'm just going to choose an image or an illustration within the application. But first I'll just have a think of my question. Now, where I'm located, it is currently raining. So let's have a look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my answers in here. Now, my first answer could be that it's raining. You might have a sunny day. And I'm just going in simply to put in my options. Could be a cloudy day, or it could be a cool day. Now, when I push this out to the students, any of those answers are correct. Sorry, I've got a mistake here. Any answers are correct, so I will select all of them to be the correct answer. However, if it was one answer that was a correct answer and you were using this information for assessment, you would only obviously click the one that is correct so that you can push that out to the students and then they can reflect on their learning. Now, I've chosen the option here of ABC, just over here. If I click on that though, I've got other options. I didn't have to have this one as ABC. I could have had it with an option for text, which I'll model in the next, a shape and color, or a shape and color with an image. So you'll see there are lots of different options, but for this one, I've just got ABCD. Now I'm just going to go over and add an illustration to make it look nice and exciting. Let's just go with leaves, since we're talking about weather. So that just shows you that. Now let's go back and have a look so far. Page 1, we've got an open-ended question. We've got an answer that we're going to get the students to put in here. We've got an image and any keywords to support the kids go here. I can go over to the next page by clicking here, or you'll see at the bottom, I can go over to the next page as well. So we've got page 1, page 2. There is no red marking on any of it, so I can assume that I've filled in absolutely everything. Now I might go and create another, or I could actually just duplicate the one I've just created. So I might just do that. I might just click on that. So now you'll see that I've duplicated that page. Page 2 and page 3 are identical. Well, let's change the format then. So I might click over here and I might just change it to shape and color. So now you've got different options. So you could put in an illustration here, and I might just randomly do that one. Let's just choose some roses for today. And again, that could be correct. I could go into here and, oops, apologies. Back into my illustration. Let's just choose a leaf. And let's assume that that can be correct as well. And I think we understand how we can move forward with that. Just shows you that there are other ways that you can get the students to respond. It does not have to be A, B, or C. There are lots of different options. So you'll see there again, what was the weather like? You've got an image there, and you've got some options here, depending on what your question is. So far we've got page 1, short answer question. We've got a multiple choice. We've got another multiple choice, but we've got other options. So have a look when you're creating yours and see what actually might suit your intention with the students. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, since I've made this example, I'm going to push it out to the participants that I've got with me. Now, what I might, oh, sorry, user error. What I might do firstly is I might save the quiz. So if I just look here on the bottom right, I've got a little file. If I click on the file, I'm going to go over and save quiz as. So clicking on save quiz as, I'm going to save it in my 2020 file. And I'm going to go place here. This is my own private resource. So I'm just going to go place here, test, and we're doing it on the 30th of April. And you also do need to give it a description, but we've already got that in there. But at least that tells me what my test is, and I'm actually going to save it. So at least I've got all that now, and I can always go into it. Now I can open the quiz player, so I can actually play the quiz. By clicking on the quiz player, I can simply go and start it. You can see now it has moved to the play button. It thinks now I want to play my quiz with an audience. So that just gives you an example of how to do that. Now I'm just going to move forward to one that I've previously created, which was exactly as I've just created this one. So here I've got a quiz I'm going to show you, I've opened this one up. I can go into settings. You'll see I'm here in settings. I can click on it and it says I'm leaving the maker. Any unsaved data will be lost. I know I've saved it all, so I'm simply going to go to stop. And let me now go to my maker. Now I'm going to start and I'm going to have a look. This is a previous quiz I've created. So this had an image of the Prowise training session. I've got all my questions just here on the right-hand side. I'm just going to go through and look at my questions. I've got answers here. All of them are positive, regardless of however my audience felt with my training session. How did I find out? How did people find out about the ELB course? And again, so you'll see your options here. This is you answering with text. It's not you answering with an ABC or a shape and an image. There's lots of different possibilities. And I've also got an image just here. Now I can, I've got another question here with some short answers, another short answer, and also a feedback page. Now I can push this out to the students timed. I can also push it out not necessarily individually, but I can display it on a panel as well. So if you had a virtual classroom like I have, for example, with you now, I've got you on the other side, I can play it and we can go through this together. Or if you wanted to push it out individually to the students, you can also do that. So what I might do now is I'm going to play this quiz and I'm actually going to get you to participate in it. So I'm going to go over to play. It tells me I'm leaving the maker because now I'm going to go into the player and I'm going to press stop because I'm comfortable with that. Now I'm going to click on start. Now that's why I was saying to you before, you can play this quiz individually. I can push it out to you individually. You'll see option here where I'm scrolling. I can time the quiz so that you're doing it in a particular time, or I can limit a question so that you only have so much time at each question. I can push it out to you individually with ProConnect, or I can simply display it on my panel with you in the classroom, or if I had a virtual classroom without ProConnect. But today, I'm going to push it out to you with ProConnect. Now, for you to access my quiz, I'm going to ask you to do this, please. When you go over to Prowise Presenter, which I'm assuming that everyone is familiar with, you'll come to this page like we were discussing before, and at the top you've got an option to click ProConnect. This is where you would start Presenter. Just over here is where you'd start ProConnect. By clicking on ProConnect, you'll get an option to put your name in. Now, I've also got ProConnect on my phone as well. For me to access ProConnect on my phone, I simply download the app. Now the app's available on Android and iOS, and I'm just going to go over to my app and click on ProConnect. I'll get the exact same image that you'll see on the panel right now. It's going to give me an option to put in my name and a group code. Now I'm about to generate a group code, but what I need you to do is to simply go over to ProConnect, put in your name, and wait for me to generate a group code. Now back to my presentation. So here I am, I'm going to push it out individually, and here is my code. So if everyone can go into ProConnect and put in their code, that would be wonderful. We've got 9 participants, which is great. So 03432150 and press join. When you press join, you'll get a scrolling symbol. The symbol will scroll until the teacher is ready to push out the quiz. So 03432150. Now I can press OK, or I can go over to the X. Either way, but I won't be closing the session like that. I'll just be leaving that. And now I can press send to you, and then you'll have your option to complete your quiz. Now it looks like we've got, let's have a look at our participants. I can click on ProConnect here and look at my participants. I've got these wonderful people connected. Anyone that has not connected, you need to just put in the code for me, please. And then you just simply go through the quiz yourself, answer your questions, and then you'll be able to submit it back to me. Now, anyone that walks in late in the session, just simply click on the number and it will come back again and anyone can join the session. I might just go through that as well. I can see on my display that that no one has actually sent the test off yet. So it looks like the participants are just working at their own pace, and that's fine. But this is just a couple of questions here, just to get you giving me some suggestions on how you feel that you might be able to use Proquiz in the classroom, what you thought of our little webinar today, and any suggestions that you might have for the future. And I can see that one person has submitted. And I'm just about to submit mine too. So we've got 2 people that have submitted. So this just gives you an idea of how you can use Proquiz. Now, obviously you'd have all your, you teach your unit of work, or you might be doing an assessment prior to a unit of work to understand where the kids are at and what learning you need to move forward with. So as long as you've got your data, and the questions that you need and all the information you're trying to find out, all you need to do is simply transfer that to Proquiz. You saw how easy it was for me to just put in a simple couple of questions and then push them off to you. And I'm going to show you now how you can access that data and how you can push it out to Excel. So we'll just wait for our colleagues to finish. Now, the awesome thing is as well, is once you push that out, if you and the teachers on your stage are creating a quiz, you're all doing the same unit of work, or it's a pre-assessment for a new substrand, etc., you can use the software for consistency in teacher judgment. You've both got the same information, you've both got the same data, and then you can make your decisions moving forward and evaluate it all. So it's a really good time to be consistent and a really good tool to be consistent with your colleagues. I think we've just got one more person. And thank you so much for participating in it. Okay, so you'll see on my display, it says that the quiz is complete. So now what I can do is I can go over to my results. Now I've got all my colleagues' results here. The first thing that I always do is I save my quiz. So I'm going to go back over to the file option. I've got my option for Excel, but I just won't do that yet. I'll just go over to the file and I'll save my results as. I'm going to save it in my 2020 file and I'm going to place them here. Okay, now it's working. Place here. Okay, I'm having a little bit of a user error at my end. Might just try that again. My private file, I might just place here in my 2020. And I'm having a few internet issues. I can save that later, that's fine. But what I can do now is I can show you the data. So I can go over to my questions, my multiple choice questions, and I can see what my colleagues have answered. I can go to the question itself and I can look at what people have suggested with particular answers. I can look at open-ended questions. I can have a look at their thoughts on things. I can have a look at their suggestions and their feedback. Thank you for all the lovely thank yous. So I've got all that information, but I'm just having a little bit of an issue here with my internet. So many people working from home. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to model how I can push this out on Excel though. So just over here where I've got my Excel option, I can click on this and I'm going to export my results. Now I'm going to put them on my desktop and I'm just going to call it 30th of April so I can access that for you. And go save. Now that will be on my desktop. Now when I want to go into that, I'm just going to simply open it. You'll see here I've got all my information of what my colleagues had answered. So this is some information of the data. You know, for example, what the correct question would have been. You've got your open-ended questions and what the children thought, any situations or any questions you might have had about the quiz, or any remarks. You've got this simple data here, which is an awesome option for you to be able to use this data for assessment, share it with colleagues, or use it for assessment and reporting when you're sharing it with teachers. So you've got quite a lot of options there with the tool. So we might just go back to Prowise. So here we go. So this just gives you an overview of how you can use the Prowise Proquiz tool for assessment. Remember, it's a simple, easy tool, which was just over here on the bottom left. Simply clicking on this tool will allow you to create your quizzes and then save them personally to your own private file, and then use them and push them out to students at whenever you choose. Remember, like I said, it can be timed, or it could be just, or it could just send it out to children at different times. As long as the children are in ProConnect and you've activated the session, the children can answer it within their own, in their own time. If they were working on a few different things, you as the educator will then close the session when you're ready. So I thank you so much for attending this session with us today. Please keep tuned as you did and how you found this session today on our ELB Electroboard Education Australia Facebook. Please find more sessions there. You're going to find some training sessions will be twice a week, Monday and Thursday. They'll cover things from ProQuiz to different parts of ProConnect, using collaboration options and using the tools of Prowise Presenter, and a lot more. So I hope you've enjoyed today's session. I hope you've got a lot out of it. What I might do is have a look at, see if we've got any chats. I've got no question at the moment, so that we might see if I can answer. We've got lots of hellos. Is there anyone that might have a question? We've got a few minutes. If you want to unmute, we can have a bit of a chat. Otherwise, I might just give anyone an opportunity to put anything in the chat that I can answer for you, or if you'd like to put your microphone off, we can have a chat. We're only a tiny group.
Belinda, it's Christine here.
Hi, Christine.
Can you use immersive reader options with the ProQuiz?
No, unfortunately you can't. The immersive reader, like as in the Microsoft application?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, unfortunately they don't marry across. What you've got in Presenter 9 though is, if I click, for example, over onto my writing tool, I can go over onto my writing tool. It won't read it, but it will convert it. So I can, for example, click on the pencil and write, I'll just click again. I can write the word hello, and that will convert that to text for me. So it's not going to give me, it's not going to read it for me, but at least it's got the option to create it in text for me. And you've also got your option here with simple mathematics tools, whether they're fractions or square roots or whatever, but unfortunately not just yet.
Okay, because I'm thinking of, particularly in the current climate, with children who have difficulty with reading, and having how I would be able to read, have access to have that question spoken to them.
Yes, I know. It'd be a wonderful tool. And I'm not too sure if Prowise are considering that in the future, but you know what they do? If you go over to the Prowise Presenter website, and I'm just going to just quickly flick over to that. If everyone just has a look, where I've gone to contact. They really do take teachers' suggestions and feedback very seriously. So it's a great tool that would be really wonderful to have. So just on the homepage where it says contact, send them a message. I might do that for you as well, so that people, if someone has asked about the possibility to read for those students that might be needing that additional support in literacy. But if I contact them and you contact them, we might see that seed in the future. Now I'm using Prowise Presenter 9. Prowise Presenter 10 is the one we're going to be using in the future. And teachers are using 9 and 10. The reason I opened up Prowise Presenter 9 today is a lot of people are currently using Presenter 9, and it has the ability to push out data on Excel. Presenter 10 is still waiting for that feature to be able to be pushed out. So hopefully we might see that tool in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christine. Anyone else have any questions? One more chat. All right, well, I think that might be it. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have. Thank you, Susanna. I've got a few thumbs up there. That's awesome. I hope you've had a good session. Good luck in the classroom. Please reach out if you need anything from us. Thank you, Christine. If you need any support, please don't hesitate to contact us on our Facebook, how you found us, and keep an eye for lots of other professional development sessions on the Prowise Presenter and how to use it within the classroom. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful afternoon. Bye.